Sancarn.
Hey guys, it's Sancarn again here, bringing you another video, and today I've brought you two things actually. There's one thing over there, and one thing here. Now this here is a 3x3 sand/gravel door, purely powered by minecarts. So you can see, it closes perfectly fine there, and we'll see that it soon opens perfectly fine as well. Although it might be a bit slow and a bit of terrain is taken out here, we can see it opened and closed absolutely perfectly. Let's just have a quick peek at the wiring. Look at this. Oh yeah, lots and lots of minecart rails and powered rails and pistons and stuff like that. So basically the main idea here was to avoid as much as possible use of redstone wire and repeaters. There is still redstone required in this build with these powered rails, and of course the pistons. You can't have a 3x3 door without pistons, or I don't think you can anyway. So far I haven't come across one. So yes, this isn't redstoneless, but it is still pretty cool, and I might be building one of these in the Jails world, the Zip Crowd server, should I say, and that's when I start my Let's Play on that server. Anyway, that's the 3x3 gravel door, so let's have a look at the wiring. So here it is. Here's the wiring of the 3x3 sand/gravel door. Now you can see the wiring here and the opening and closing sequences, and actually they're fairly simple. Down at the bottom there you also have the black circuit, which is the clock that keeps the whole system running. So over here we can see, you know, the top section, and we can basically see where all the minecarts go. Those two minecarts that go on the pink circuit are the reset. And all of this works off a centralized RS NOR latch pulse former thing. So it's like, it's an RS NOR latch, but every single time it toggles to the other state, it sends a pulse. And that is this thing here. So this purple thing, you can see the minecart will go round to that side, and then the next time round it'll go round to the other side, and each time it sends a pulse. So actually it's pretty cool. Now all in all, I think I'm actually fairly impressed with the wiring here. I don't think it's as compact as I think I could make it, and I don't think I'll be making a tutorial on this just because it's so large and I think it would take way too much time. But yeah, there you go. Anyway guys, that is the sand/gravel door. Let's get on to the 3x3 door. Yeah. Okay, so this is the actual 3x3 door. And again, we'll see it closing in a second. Oh, here we go. Here's the closing. Cool, and that's the closing mechanism. Now let's open it. Cool. There we go then. So that's the opening and closing mechanism, and here is the wiring. Unfortunately, I needed to use a little bit of redstone wiring here because there's no way of connecting up this input here to the system I already had without using redstone. So that's slightly unfortunate, but it's not a massive deal. There might be another way of doing it. I haven't really tried messing around with this a lot because as you can see, it's slightly big and there's all these rails going everywhere, and I really don't want to have to mess it up. So I might copy it over in an MC Edit schematic over here and see if I can come up with a better design, but we'll see about that. Now it's for the wiring section, so I'm just going to show you the opening and closing mechanisms. So you see here we actually use a triple extender on the top, which is actually fairly unusual for 3x3 doors, and then we just use a regular double piston extender on the bottom. It turns out that this is actually a much better design, and it actually makes the wiring a lot simpler, especially for the rails. So anyway, here is the whole machine. It is actually fairly big, as you might have seen before, but I'm still like really impressed with the design, and I think this is perhaps even cooler, and you know, the wiring I think is much better than that of the than the 3x3 sand door. I also love the algorithm and how the way it closes is it pushes from the top down. I think that's just a super cool thing, and it really gives the door a lot of character. So you can see actually most of this is actually bussing. This is one of the things about redstoneless stuff. Most of the wiring is actually just bussing. All of the algorithms and stuff are actually very easy, and most of the wiring to make these algorithms happen by button presses is actually fairly small. Here I just sped up a couple of things. You could see those minecarts were going really fast, but it's really just to show you the algorithm at the top here. And the way that works we'll also see in a minute, and it's actually pretty cool. We have a floating lever there because I've used an MC Edit filter. Oh, but here we go. So you'll see these 3 tripwires on the side. All 3 go off, and then those 2 go off. And that's pretty much the whole algorithm for the whole opening of the door for the top pistons. It's actually really pretty cool. So for this build, there are actually a couple of people who I'd really like to thank. First and foremost being Seth Bling. Now Seth Bling made a MC Edit filter for me called Color Rails, and this basically takes every single block underneath a rail block and turns it into a wool color of a certain color. So it's basically a modification of the color wires filter, and I used that in here after doing all this just to make it look like more sensible to all you guys. And there are a couple of floating levers around because of it, but that's not really a big deal. You can just put blocks on them and the whole mechanism will still work fine. Anyway guys, download link is in the description, and I'll see you again in the next video. See you guys later.